we see how crazy it is to say, look, we see the nature realms presences are having a hard time keeping clear because they aren't spending enough time in the search for truth pillar, and then getting this really contentious issue on the table about whether or not to rescue Pan.
Yes.
And then getting to the point of now we need to rescue Pan, but not getting clarity about how to go about doing that, and how crazy that is.
That's true.
Let's correct that error. Upward flow. Shadrach, are you here?
I see his hand.
Meshach, are you here? I feel real close.
See his
Abednego, are you here? Feels like much closer.
Right
very
there.
good. Now the 50, come be very present so we can feel you here.
There they are.
And then the 500, very present so that we can feel you here. Thank you. I feel him, do you?
I do.
Okay. All right, now let's attempt to discern how best to go about this. Live streaming up. What now? We think you want us to rescue Pan. What now?
But now,
Tuning for intent to do the work as assigned by wiser minds above. 2 specifications in every moment. Oh, the flock of ideas has been flying up and down the central column of the Search for Truth pillar, and I
That's
feel
true.
them kind of like tapping on my shoulder.
That's true.
Yes, 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 thank you. We're very grateful. They will lead us. They say they know where it is, and they feel sad, a lot of sadness.
That's true.
And it's kind of out over the horizon, through the mountain pass.
That's true.
It's a place, it's kind of like a holy place, like a holy place.
That's true. It used to be beautiful.
It used to be beautiful, and they believe it's been, I guess,
Destroyed.
desecrated. Yes.
That's true.
It's like the copper mines that they're putting in the Navajo sacred spots.
That's true.
It's something like that. It was a beautiful place. It was a sacred place. I know what they're talking about.
Yes.
It's the mountain with the cliffs and the cedars. In the
that's
nature
true.
realms, the cliffs, dark soil, cedars, that's where he is.
That's true.
I see it now. Friends, let's meditate for just a little bit. Remember, anger is never healed by responding in kind. By love alone is anger healed.
That's true.
And when people are getting triggered, it doesn't work to continue on. We have to give them time to cool off.
That's
We
true.
have to let them take deep breaths, and it might take them days, weeks, months, actually, to cool off. And we just let them have however long they need. However, in this case, our good friend Pan is being held hostage, and so
That's
we
true.
can't very well ignore it. And it actually feels like they're telling him he's crazy, and like they have institutionalized him
That's
under
true.
the pretense of, quote, for your own good,
That's
unquote.
true.
I got it. Got it. So now, friends, here, you nature realms presences, put yourself in the place of the quote gatekeepers or security guards or I don't know what you would want to call them, that are holding Pan in this place, and they're going to greet you with some kind of story that it's for his own good.
That's true.
I would say to ask to meet with Pan so that you can come to that conclusion yourself.
That's true.
And be aware that he is almost certainly going to have been heavily drugged, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
will be drooling and appear quite crazy. But
That's
that doesn't
true.
mean that he's crazy. You know Pan as well as I do.
That's true.
You know that he is perfectly sane.
That's true.
They seem to understand. They seem to agree.
Yeah, I feel no argument yet. So far, everyone's on board.
Who knows Pan best? I think Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego,
Abednego.
his 3
That's
closest
true.
friends. So what would make sense is for all 555 to go,
Yes, that's true.
and 552, so to speak,
Yes,
stand outside and 3 go in.
that's true.
But that might not be safe, because then they might have all 4 of you locked up, and wouldn't that just be peachy keen? maybe 55 go in and 500 stay outside. That might be better.
That's true.
The 55 people who know Pan best. I feel as though there are people sitting on the rafters almost.
That's
and
true.
Pulling some of them down from the rafters. I think what that represents is some spirit world presences.
That's true.
Well, Asha knows Pan really well.
That's true.
And so does Luce.
That's true.
This will be a good test if Luce is still alive, right?
That's true.
If he shows up for this. Well, if he doesn't show up for this, I am convinced that something bad has happened to Luce.
That's true.
I would really like for Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to give us some kind of summary in your own words of what the assignment is.
I don't know.
The assignment is to get Pan out of there.
That's true.
To get Pan out of there and to bring him back here so that he can detox.
That's true.
And to come to clarity again about what's true. And then, maybe, we'll be able to get to what actually happened.
Got it. It feels like they want to go.
Okay. And can you do it from a peaceful heart?
That's a good question. One of them, it might be Abednego, is saying, I'm so angry. How do I do this with a peaceful heart? Or it could be, I use anger as a motivation.
That feels like what it is. Well, that is actually a valid use of anger, as long as we're using it to empower us to follow the instructions from wiser minds above. If we just continually tune our intention so that we are actually intending to do the work as assigned by wiser minds above, to specifications in every moment, that seems to be what is helpful, then you can be doing the right thing. And if anger is present in your state of affairs, then it will propel you forward into what you're supposed to be doing, rather than derailing you into something else.
That's true.
Does that help? Not really. Kind of. Not really. I think what you want to do isn't what we're actually supposed to do.
That's true.
Are you ready to let that go? Because if not, then you aren't the best person to have on this assignment. Because if the instruction is get Pan out of there, do you think that wiser minds above are putting together an idea that they believe will work?
Yes.
So would it make sense for us to follow those instructions that are coming to us from people who have a better vantage point than we do?
Yes.
And so, why not try it? Let's just try it. How about just try following the instructions from wiser minds above? Would you be willing to do it as an experiment? Try the instructions from wiser minds above and see what happens if you really do it to specifications in every moment.
That feels more willing. Now they really want to go.
Okay. Godspeed. Somebody is tugging on me, tugging.
Oh, that's true. I feel a tug. Tug.
Somebody small. What is
It's a
it?
nature realm's presence.
It is a small nature realm's presence. What is it?
I was asking a question. And it starts with, what if Pan comes back and...
What if Pan comes back and he really did the bad thing of his own accord with knowledge and foresight? Well, then we'll have to deal with that. We can't ignore that. If that is what it is, then that will be an inconvenient reality that we will have to deal with. Either way, there's an inconvenient reality we have to deal with. It doesn't really matter where this bad thing started. It either started with the, quote, nature realms gods, unquote, or it started with Pan, right?
That's true.
Neither of those are good, right?
That's
Either
true.
way, we have to deal with some inconvenient reality. And the point is to deal with what actually occurred and not with a lie about what occurred. That's the point. The point is to get to what really happened and deal with it mindfully, according to the instructions that come to us from wiser minds above.
He's nodding, but he's crying. If Pan turns out to be a bad guy who does bad things, then I don't know who the good guys are anymore.
Myself, I would be willing to place all but one chip on the bet that Pan is not the bad guy here.
He's nodding. And he's starting to feel better. That means a lot to him.
I have known Pan a long time and have worked with him for a long time, and I have never seen him have bad intent, ever. I've seen him be confused, but I've never seen him have bad intent, ever.
No, he feels better. It's like he can play that over and over again in his head to calm himself down.
But friend, the only way to know for sure is to get Pan back here and go through the process of inquiry to actually search for truth. That's the whole point of the Search for Truth pillar, is to have a space that is as clear as we are able to get it, and to continually strive to discern what is actually going on, what is real inside of us and around us, what's actually going on. That's the point. That's what we're doing here. We're unraveling the nature of reality into its component parts so it can be examined and understood. I think Pan is in a prison for the criminally insane.
That's true.
That's where he is.
And they're saying, like, the king has gone mad.
Yes.
And so for the good of the kingdom,
Yeah.
we are putting the king in the loony bin.
In the loony bin. Well, he's not mad.
No.
He might be angry, though.
I'm willing to bet he's angry. Or when he figures out what happens, he's angry.
All right, well, we'll get Pan out of there because he's not crazy.
That's true.